What's poppin', everybody? This is Ray Rawlins from the Ray Rawlins Network, soon to be undergoing some changes after this 31 days of Halloween cartoons marathon. But we're coming to the end, and of course, we gotta kick it off with a bang, baby. Actually, no, this is the final episode. We're just recording in advance, and I'm not remembering the days. But for this final episode of this review marathon, whatever you want to call it, we are doing SpongeBob SquarePants, the spongy homie episode, Scaredy Pants. Good old classic Halloween episode, man. One of my favorites. I didn't know it existed until 2007 when my mom bought me the DVD. I saw it on there. I'm like, oh, cool. But Alex Payne, what are your first impressions of this episode? Did you watch it live or did you find it the way I did on a fucking DVD somewhere?
No idea. No clue. I'm assuming I watched it on the TV then. Because I never really got, I think I got a SpongeBob DVD once in my life. I feel like you didn't even need those because SpongeBob used to come on so much. It's like,
you're right.
You didn't even need a DVD.
I was just a collector though. I was always collecting shit like, I always say I got the Simpsons seasons 1 to 10, and then I got season 13. I'm just missing 11, 12. And then I got to buy the other, 17 seasons? Hell no, I'm not getting them bitches. They're not worth my money. But I was always collecting like little SpongeBob DVDs whenever I could find them at the store, and my parents would buy them for me. Like, oh, we got you this. I'm like, oh shit, a new SpongeBob movie.
It's Bob.
That was my show though. And the thing that really pisses me off, and I guess they do it for the right reason. Like they never showed this episode on TV before I got the DVD. Never. Ever. I never ran into it is what I meant. Like obviously around Halloween they probably maybe show it probably once or twice. But it's just like, man, this shit never comes on. Yeah. Just like the Christmas episodes. Like they only show those around Christmas. But I do gotta say, sense. Man, yeah, it's a special occasion. You don't want to play them out, but although I would watch it like 20 times on the DVD when I first got it. It was like a secret episode. I never knew it existed, and I was watching that shit. I'm like, oh shit, I got like a golden ticket. Of course you mean, yeah, okay, G-Spot, sure. But anyway, let's get into the first impressions of this. What do you think when you watch this episode? What did you think about when you watched this episode? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are your thoughts?
You're probably going to be very surprised at this, but I never really thought this episode was anything that great. I never really thought this episode was anything special. I wouldn't go as far to say I don't like the episode, but I wouldn't say I like it.
That's interesting. Okay, like
I will say this though. My first, in terms of like a first impression, watching episodes like this really makes me hate modern SpongeBob with a passion because like
I know
just because of Patrick's personality.
Yes, I was thinking the exact same thing once I saw Patrick.
I mean, all of their personalities.
This is not New Day Patrick.
Yeah, because I don't know him and SpongeBob, like their personalities now, it's just so terrible. It's just, nah. And think about it. This entire episode, Mr. Krabs didn't reference money. Sandy didn't reference science. Squidward wasn't talking about how miserable his life was. Like, they were actually characters back then. Now they're just extremes of what their quirks used to be.
You know what? Since you're talking about Mr. Krabs, the thing that really got me with this episode, when he was explaining the whole theory of the Dutchman's ship and whatnot, and the soul, he legit took out a Krabby Patty and took a pickle and put it in like a bag, which I'm assuming he probably threw away. Which you wouldn't see the regular Mr. Krabs do that now. You're like, no, you're fucking up my Krabby Patty or some shit like that. You know, it's just like you would not see that shit. And you're right. And I didn't even think about it. Like you said, he didn't reference money or anything like that. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy because when you look at it, Patrick too, he's like dumbed down. Even SpongeBob, they're dumbed down to like their levels of stupid is very high, if that makes sense. Like they're not normal
unrecognizable.
People. Like the whole plot they came up with to make SpongeBob scary is not something that I could see the SpongeBob and Patrick coming up with today.
It's not even just that, like just the way they, even with the exact same premise, like I mean, for Christ's sakes, Patrick, the only dumb moment in this entire episode from Patrick was when he was friggin' trying to figure out the difference between the paper ghost and SpongeBob.
But even then, that was a classic Patrick moment too. Like, he's always did shit like that.
It wasn't really like whatever, because even when, I guess we're kind of technically talking about movies now, but even when SpongeBob was like, when he got stung with a jellyfish and then he was trying to redeem, and
I love that part.
When they saw SpongeBob clothes, he was like, "I'm not SpongeBob, those are my street clothes." It's like, that's smart. The Patrick nowadays wouldn't say some shit like that.
Yo.
If anything, he'll forget he had and this has even happened in the friggin' episode when, it was some episode, man. Oh, the episode when they broke Sandy's tree dome. Like, he's tied himself to Patrick, and Patrick forgot he was even tied to him. He thought a ghost was pulling him, and he ran running away screaming.
Right.
So, like, that's probably what happened. He probably would have forgot he was even holding the rope and just let SpongeBob drop to the floor, probably doing something stupid.
It's just awesome. Like, my favorite moment of that episode was when Patrick got stung by that jellyfish. I just fucking love it because I'm the Flying Dutchman, and the jellyfish just come up, just stings him on the ass, and he's just like, he's just fucking hollering.
If anything, I like the hesitation, because they'll be like, and then he'll be like, oh, and then start screaming.
It's just like that shit just kicks in. It's just like you notice. Have you ever like stepped on like a little thumbtack, or because my brother used to leave toothpicks around the house, or no, a good representation of that is when you like stub your toe, or when you bump into something, like if you bump in like to the side of a table, whatever, it just takes a minute for that pain to kick in. You're like, oh fuck, I know this is gonna hurt. Ooh, and that just kicks in out of nowhere. It's like, damn, why is there fucking like a 4-second delay? I know. And Patrick's just going fucking nuts. He's just fucking hollering. But the ultimate moment, the big payoff of that episode is when, well, we didn't even give an episode breakdown, man. How did you let this happen? You need to give an episode breakdown. I guess it's been like a fucking decade, but we always need to do the episode breakdown. We're over here talking about moments and shit. We're all fucked up in this review today, but go ahead.
Well, this episode is about how SpongeBob is labeled as, Scaredy Pants. Everything always scares him. So he decides that because Mr. Krabs is having a Halloween party, that he's going to try to figure out a way to scare everyone in Bikini Bottom being dressed as the Flying Dutchman. And that's pretty much it. And shenanigans ensue.
Yeah, pretty much. The crazy thing is, like, this was in season 1. So, obviously, and I always debated with myself, I was like, man, was this the first episode Flying Dutchman really showed up in? And it really is, because I never really looked at all the episodes beforehand, and I didn't know which season it was in until today. But actually seeing that shit, it's like, man, oh shit, the Dutchman came in this episode 13, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
But I think overall, like I said, the big payoff of this episode, when he finally shows up, he threatens to steal people's soul and whatnot.
I love the Dutchman music, by the way.
I can't. No, I do know exactly what it is. It just took me a while to really think about it. But yeah. But it's just like, man, it's crazy how gigantic he is, though, too. Like, when you think of a ghost, you think they'd be small as shit, but this dude is freaking gigantic. But I do love the fact when he tried to go over there and try to take SpongeBob's soul and whatnot. And he's like, first we gotta get rid of this costume, and he takes off the little sheet or whatever, and then he just goes flying, bro. Flying. He's like, nah. He scared the hell out of him. So it's kind of good to see SpongeBob get his little payoff too. It's like, oh shit, SpongeBob finally scared somebody. That's the main thing he wanted to do, is scare somebody, and he finally did it to the Flying Dutchman, the person who's supposed to be the scariest out of everyone in Bikini Bottom.
And then he scares everyone away too.
Yeah, even Patrick, the dude who freaking shaved his head off. It's like, oh no, wait, it grows back.
But yeah, I really, this episode never was really nothing special to me. I honestly would, if it came on, I would not even watch it.
It's
I would
crazy,
die
like
if I had to watch it, but
it's
for me, it's
crazy because like
skippable.
the rareness of this episode is like, man, you gotta watch it. If you don't got the DVD, and of course we got online, so we watch that shit online all the time. So it's always accessible. But it's like, man, such a rare episode. You just gotta take it in with all its glory. And not only that though, because I watched this as a kid, I was always like taken aback by it. Like, man, this is a damn good episode. I love it. I love it. But then I watched it now. I'm like, it's crazy. I'm trying to make the show the little point that it's always funny how you think things are like fantastic, like shows like this, and how the whole Simpsons, when we were doing the reviews, how I thought that was great. And now since we're adults and we understand the proper structure of a story and storytelling and whatnot, it's just like, it ain't shit. It's really not shit. But although the greatness of this episode has been taken down dramatically, obviously, I still think it's not a bad one. I think it's a damn good episode. It's pretty decent for what we got out there now, that what's coming out now of SpongeBob. So to give my final review, like I said, the story in itself, it was kind of rushed, obviously. Like, I'd love to see a full 30-minute episode of this. Like SpongeBob and Patrick trying to think of a way how to make them scary and
I don't
whatnot.
think so, because
And
I don't think there's really much more they could have done. Unless they just had like a montage of him having different costumes. But other than that, I don't think there's
right,
much more they could have done.
yeah, and I suppose you're right.
Honestly, I
But
think they probably struggled to make that 10 minutes.
I think what they should have done though, obviously, is explain the full. And I don't even know if there's an origin of the Flying Dutchman story out there, like 100% that's a legit and real. Because I really do wonder where the fuck that dude comes from. Maybe I missed it or what, but
But I would want to see
I
the people
can't.
from this SpongeBob make that though, not the ones now.
No, obviously, but if they somehow made that into a 30-minute episode and they explain how he died, how he became a ghost and whatnot, and then do everything that they did, make this part of the episode, the second part or whatever, that would have been ideal, honestly. But overall, like I said, they kind of, in my opinion, they could have did a little bit more with it. Make it a 30-minute episode would have been better. But that's just nitpicking. My opinions, my thoughts. Um, Overall, characterization was pretty cool. Love that. I like the whole setup, the whole payoff with the Dutchman finally showing up. It was all good. Music was great. I loved it, how they had a little party and whatnot. Mr. Krabs not being cheap, throwing a party for everybody. Um, Overall, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. That's my favorite rating. Like if I'm not hating on it and if I'm not loving it, I'll give it a nice 7.5 out of 10. I think that's fair.
I think, well, I would say that's probably a 5, but
What? Get the fuck out of here. For
no,
real?
I meant like if you're not hating on it and you don't like it, it's like a 5. Because I
Right.
would say a 7.5 is pretty high. That's when you start getting into the good tier.
Yeah, and
But
I suppose you're right. I'm thinking about it like a school grading system. Obviously everything's up out of 10. So obviously the scale of 100. So I'll give it a nice C. I'll give it a 7. I think a 7's more fair. It's
yeah,
a flat 7. Because I kind of did think too. You are right. Like we rated some of the courage pretty high up there on that 7.5 rating. So I'll give it like maybe a 7. It's not the best. It's definitely not the worst. It's kind of in the middle. So a nice
because I
good
see
C, good
I
7.
see it like as 5 is in middle of the road, 6 is decent, 7 is good, 8 is great, 9 is amazing, and 10 is perfect.
Right. What do we give the mask? I think we both gave it
No,
9, right?
9, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd give this a nice solid 7. Could have been
But
better, but it's pretty decent in my opinion.
I think I'm gonna have to give it a 6.
Ooh, ooh, you gave
Yeah,
it a D. No,
yeah.
actually, you gave that an F.
I'll give it a D. All right. But
But why would you give it a 6 though? What are some of your nitpicks? Because I basically was talking
I
this whole
wouldn't even
time.
say
I
I
want to hear
have
what you
a
think.
I wouldn't even say I have nitpicks. I just feel like the episode wasn't nothing special to me. The only things that really made me laugh, because even the stuff we already mentioned, just made me go, okay, more so than anything. I would say one of the few things that really made me laugh is when SpongeBob first got the costume and he was running down the street saying, "I'm the Flying Dutchman," and Patrick was like, "I don't know who I am." Like that was funny to me. But
yeah.
But there wasn't much that made me laugh about it. And like I said, I never really enjoyed the episode. I always thought it was just meh.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, it's just like with Patrick with that one line right there. I like nowadays Patrick we could oh shit, started like a motherfucker. We could have pictured him saying oh I'm Patrick, I don't know who I am. Like that's the difference of being funny. Like oh I don't know who I am, and then I'm Patrick just being like you're
Yeah, he
stupid.
would have
That's
just
not
said
funny.
that normally. Like nowadays, he probably would try to fight himself in the mirror because he's thinking of a stranger in his house.
That is disappointing what they did to Patrick, man. But you give it a 6. I
Mm-hmm.
give it a 7. Pretty decent episode. Not the worst, like we said. Could have been better, definitely. But
Yeah.
that's it for the 31 Days of Halloween Cartoons Marathon. We knocked it out of the park with this final SpongeBob review for this, marathon and whatnot. Returning to the regular schedule. And we will have a whole new podcast coming up talking about what we're doing to the channel and everything, man. Big changes coming to the Ray Rawlins Network, which will be formerly the Ray Rawlins Network. We'll explain in a podcast later this week. But with all that being said, my name is Ray Rawlins. His is Alex Payne. This has been the 31 Days of Halloween Cartoons Marathon. Lord knows if we'll do it again next year. Probably not. But we will see you when we see you. Peace.